Okay, everybody, I got another strategy for craps here. It's a pretty wild strategy. It is called the Shadow Glide 1000. So, what makes this strategy a little bit different than other strategies is you kind of eyeball it. You want to buy in for about $2,500. The main bet consists of just doing a $30 don't pass, and then you do a $30 6 and 8, and you just try to hit a 6 or an 8 one time before you drop it to table minimum. So this would be the strategy on a $15 table. Don't forget to try to put the dealers on the 5, 6, 8, 9 for $1 each. So what you do in this strategy is once you hit a 6 or 8 once, either one, you go to a table minimum and you try to hit a 6 and 8 twice, and then you take it down. That's basically all you do. And you randomly start to martingale your don't pass. So if you get a no 6 or a no 8, don't double bet it. I don't need to place a $30 6. You already have a $30 no 6. Why would you do both? That's stupid. Alright, so I'm going to show you the martingale progression. So we got 2 hits at minimum, and now you take down the 6 and 8. Okay, so the crazy part of the strategy is you potentially go up to a... I'll show you now. When you're feeling it, you start to increase your don't pass when it loses. But you only go up to 1,000. If it loses at 1,000, then you're just out of luck. So we're going to try it. We do the same thing. Alright, so when it wins, you go back down to the $30 starting bet. And you try not to do that very often. So the formula is if you lose, you go to 50. If it loses again, you go to 100. If it loses again, you go to 200. If it loses again, you go to 5. If it loses again, you go to 1,000, capped at 1,000. So let's try it again. So you just want to do this very rarely. And again, you still do the same $30 6/8 system. 2 hits at minimum, take it down. And we won that time. Now be prepared. This is a highly risky system. So we'll try it again. We'll start to progress. Boom. We already got our hit. We go back down to 30. So you try not to do it very often. You just kind of feel the table and do it once in a while. So you're not always taking that big risk. Now, worst case scenario, you might lose $2,000 trying to lead into the progression. So we're going to keep it 30. We've done it a couple times. You don't want to just keep doing it and doing it. So it's that progression where you're going to start winning like hundreds of dollars. So you're really just trying to get into a deep progression that hits. Now, you are gambling pretty big. So do be prepared for worst case scenario. You might lose $2,000. Good news or the bad news? If it loses, you're down $2,000. But good news is that's like the maximum you're going to lose because you just kind of bring one bullet. So you try to just sit here doing the $30 don't pass as much as you can. And then you start to randomly throw in that progression. Now keep in mind, if you progress with your bet every time, you're more likely to lose that $2,000. So you don't want to do it very often. Like, you might just be sitting here playing the $30 6-8 strategy for an hour before you try it like once every hour. You really don't want to do it very much. Like, the less you do it, the better. You want to rarely start diving into that progression. You almost never want to start progressing into it. And you preferably want to do it after you've had like 4 or 5 losses. The way I see it is after it's lost like 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 times, I feel like you know you're getting a lot closer to a win. So if you feel like, oh, it keeps losing, that's when I feel, okay, now you want to try to progress it. Because it's only going to lose so many times in a row before it's bound to win again. So you want to wait until it loses 3 or 4 or 5 times. That I don't consider a loss. When I consider it a loss, like if I make a 4 here, if I make a 4, let's say I make a 4, I make a 5, I make a 9, then I feel like it's time to jump into that martingale. Because that doesn't happen very often, right? It's not very often you make your point of 4, 5, 9, especially right in a row. So that's when I feel like You want to strike while the iron's hot. So you're just waiting for 3 or 4 losses, 5 losses, 6 losses in a row. When you're feeling it, like right there, we just lost. We're going to try it. Because I'm just trying to show you when it loses, that's when you want to jump in. Oh, right there. Boom. We just hit our martingale. Like it wasn't much pressure, but slow and steady wins the race. That's why our martingale isn't designed to recover 100% of our losses. We're just trying to get a long winning streak where we can hit that martingale progression 10 times, 20 times, 30 times. And if you do go up to your once you hit your $500 progression, like right here, we're going to try to progress it. We just lost. Because you start to make your money when you start to up your don't pass. Now, if you get up to a $500 don't pass, you're only looking at winning about 125 profit. So why do you think this system is so effective? It's designed to be effective like that because the smaller the amount you're trying to take in as profit, technically the lower risk that it is. Let's try to progress it again because first of all, we're using a unlimited bankroll, so we have a little bit more room to go crazy. Boom, and we won our progression. Now, when we progress from 30 to 50, when we win that 50, we win 20 profit. So we recover $20 of our losses profit. So you're just trying to take very small wins and you're trying to get hundreds of these plus 20s, plus 50, plus 100. Like I said, if you go up to 500, you're only looking to win like 120 profit. But if you win that 120 profit 50 times, 100 times, which it's designed to try to capitalize on, and that's what you're basically trying to get out of your system, is that plus 120 20 times, 30 times, 40 times. So that is why you don't do it very often. Remember, it's only plus $120. You're technically kind of betting 1,000. You're going to be willing to risk and bet up to 1,000 to just win that plus $120. So you're taking a fairly high risk bet. Like right there. I lost on a 4. That's pretty rare. I'm ready to try to jump into my progression. We got a really good number. I don't know if we've hit twice on the 6 or 8. Now I know for a fact we did. We take it down. We're trying to hit our 7. And bang. There it is. Now remember, the reason the strategy looks so effective is we are willing to risk. Like, once again, we made our 4. Let's jump into our progression. I feel like it's time. And you want to try to jump in on your progression sooner rather than later, but not very often. So I feel like, okay, well, a no 4, that's rare to make your no 4. Let's try to jump into the progression. Because we're not progressing very often, we're only doing it every once in a while, and then we capitalize. So I feel like, okay, we've made some money. We don't want to jump into that progression once you're up. The more you get up, the less you want to be willing to jump into that progression. So I'm already up $400. Now I'm just trying to win consistently on my 6 and 8. Because it's almost like we got a bunch of free chances to just try to keep winning off of our 6 and 8. So you're jumping between trying to win on your 6 and 8 and then jumping into your progression to capitalize on that plus 120. But like I said, I'm already up $400. I want to slow down a little bit. So I'm not going to jump into a progression. Because you want to wait till you lose 3 or 4 or 5 times to start maybe trying to progress and jump into the recovery of your losses. Why? Because now it's much more unlikely you're going to keep losing. Although gambling is gambling, nothing ever changes. You're just trying to reduce the amount that you're willing to go into your deep progression so that you can lower your variance. The less you jump into that deep progression, the lower variance you're going to experience. So you want the variance to be as minimal and as low as possible. So you only once in a blue moon, when you're feeling like you got balls of steel to jump into that progression, then you jump into that progression. All right, I'm ready to jump into my progression again, but we're going to wait till we lose a don't pass or 2. Again, we're just trying to capitalize on consistently winning off of our 6s and 8s and don't passes at minimum. Well, our minimum is 30. The table minimum might be 15. This is designed for a $15 table. So again, we had a free chance to win off of our 8. So like 75% of our strategy, we're just trying to win on our 6 and our 8. And then 25% of the time, we're trying to jump into the deep progression and capitalize on that plus 120, up to plus 120. Now, like I said, it looks like you win on that deep progression bet a lot of the time, but you're technically willing to risk up to that $1,000. So we just lost on a no 10. I feel like now's the time. Honestly, it's a good idea to maybe just do another $30 bet, and if it loses again, you want to jump into that deep progression as rarely as possible, as delayed as possible. So it would have been fine to just stick at a $30 don't pass again. But you know what? At some point, the system is designed that you need to jump into that deep progression. So mathematically, I only like to maybe jump into that deep progression 2 or 3 times an hour. Because the less you do it, the more likely you are to potentially keep getting away with it. Because the less you do it, the more you are going to reduce variance. So the problem with doing the deep progression, betting 30, 50, 100, 200, 500, 1,000, is if you just keep doing it, you're going to lose. Like, the sooner you're going to lose. So you don't always want to keep doing it. Because if you always keep doing it, you're like guaranteed gonna lose. You're guaranteed gonna lose. So you're trying to kind of chop and beat around the bush and negate when it would have crashed and burned big time. Now, every once in a while, you might want to start your progression right here because you're trying to be as spontaneous as possible without doing it very often. The secret is there's no right or wrong way to progress into it. You just don't want to do it very much. Only once in a while. So it looks like you're consistently winning, but you're really just betting more to win less. Which you always look like you're going to keep winning when you're kind of technically betting more to win less. So, like, I'm willing to risk $1,000 just to win $120. But why? Because I'm technically, mathematically expected to win that bet a few times before I actually lose it. So when I'm gambling, I like to feel like a winner. I want to be winning. I want to be making money. So if I lose this and I roll a 9, I'm going to start progressing. Because we haven't been doing it too much. Boom! There it is. It's a bunch of small wins. But if you keep winning and winning, and when you're doing it, you start to really make money. And like I said, you typically want to maybe try to win $400, $600, and try to cash out. Because you're technically kind of risking 2,000. Which is why, like, when you keep winning, it's gonna look like you're never gonna lose. But you're technically kind of risking $2,000. Let's progress. So the dealers might be looking at you like, man, this guy keeps winning. But they may not realize, yeah, but you're risking $2,000 to just barely win 120. Like right now, we're barely trying to win $120. This is the last try we get to win our $120 profit. And we lost. And that is exactly why, this strategy is, pretty high risk. And we were one off. We were so close. So at this point, you could cash out. You're down $1,000. At least you're not down two. And since we just lost, we might as well try to go into some more progressive bets. Well, now you've seen how the system operates. So you basically just want to take $2,000 to the craps table and just go as crazy as you can with it. And you maybe just try this once a year. But like if I would have cashed out my profits there, you can keep trying it until you actually lose that $1,000 bet. Once you lose the $1,000 bet, you basically just save up and try it again next year. So let's try to progress. So you make most of your money when you hit the 500 or the $1,000 bet. And you're consistently winning your $30 don't passes, and then you're winning on your sixes and eights. So, like I said, we have unlimited bankroll, so we can get a little bit crazy here. It's not like it matters. So we're just trying to show the strategy. I like to progress on when I make a no 4, no 10. Because I feel like, you're almost always guaranteed to win on a no 4, no 10. So I just feel like when you lose with let's progress here. Because you just want to do it as randomly as possible. So we're betting 200 to still profit $20. So we're technically not really betting very much. We're not winning very much. But that's why you win so often, is you're not really taking too big of a risk. Which is why it's pretty effective. When you keep winning using the system, like you just keep winning. But you're not really risking very much. So like I said, I like to spontaneously jump into my progression. Like right here, I'm going to jump into my progression. Because we're trying to be very spontaneous. We got a no 4. That's a good number. I think now's a good time to jump into our progression. Because we like to randomly mix it up. We don't want to be very predictable. Don't be very predictable. Don't always progress on when you lose on the no 4. Don't always progress when you lose on the no 6. Just randomly progress. And just don't do it very much. That is the secret. Like, even you don't know when you're gonna progress. I think that's what makes the bet most effective. Because have you ever heard the saying, like, the new player at the tables always seems to be the luckiest? And they like literally barely know what they're doing. You're kind of trying to just play wild and crazy, like you just have no clue what you're doing, which is what I think makes it more effective. Is the crazier you do it, the more effective it seems to be. Like right now, I feel like it would be a crazy time to start progressing. So why not try it? There's no right time or wrong time to do it. So you just sporadically do it every once in a blue moon. We take down the 6-8. We're looking for a 7. Yes. So we've already recovered a lot of our losses. And don't forget to keep the dealers in the game on the 5, 6, 8, and 9, and possibly another number. Just throw them $5 to bet 5 numbers. And you really want to keep your progression on the don't pass. Because your don't pass is most likely to prevail. It has the lowest house edge. I mean, it's slightly better than the pass line. So you might as well progress on the don't pass. Might as well progress. You want to be sporadic, random. You know, I'm going to start progressing on the don't pass randomly. Just not very often. The secret is progress on the don't pass, but don't do it very much. All right, now if we win 120. So we're getting like really deep with our don't pass progression, but we got the best point we could have hoped for is the no 4. You got to love when you get the progressive don't pass on a no 4, no 10. Cuz you're most likely to win your don't pass progression when you get that no 4, no 10. And now if we get a 7 here, oh, I feel like it's time to progress because, and we don't need to bet our 6 and 8 there because we already harvested our 6 and 8. We're just going to keep it at 30 because like I said, you don't want to just keep progressing very often. Okay, we just lost 3 times in a row. Let's try to progress. Boom, and we just hit. So let's just go back to a normal bet. We're not trying to be crazy very often. The secret is don't progress very often. Don't be predictable. Be highly unpredictable. I don't remember if I just had a $50 don't pass or a 30. So I'm just going to keep it at 50. But I have began my progression. Okay. I'm just demonstrating. All right, let's progress. Because we're spontaneously progressing. We don't have an exact perfect system when to progress, so the more randomly you progress, I feel the more successful you're gonna be. But the secret, what is the secret? Don't do it very much. The less you do it, the more successful you should end up becoming. So we're gonna progress. I say we progress. We go back down. We won our progression, so we just take it. Never be greedy. A win is a win. Plus 20 is plus 20. Perfect. All right, so we're only down $300. So you can see how this system is designed to just keep winning $30, $50, $100, $30, $30, $100. It's designed to just go for very minimal winnings, but at high frequency. Again, we capitalized. We won that progression. So we want to back off a little bit. A no 10 is always good. A no 10, no 4, those are the best don't pass numbers to get. You will win those 2/3 of the time. So we're going to progress. Yes, that was perfect. We won our progression. We go back down. So now we really want to try to break even. So we're trying to get our breaking even. So we're going to start progressing to try to break even. Oh, we're $100 from breaking even. We're gonna progress because we're so close to breaking even. Oh, we're $50 from breaking even. Remember, we want to be spontaneous, so I'm not gonna progress. The less you progress, the better. So you want to try to exercise discipline on not being compulsively after. Boom, we're up 33 bucks. Now we're grinding for our actual profit. So you could continue, but you see how we just grinded to make back that $1,000 we just lost. So we already hit a 6 and 8. We're just trying to hit our progressive don't pass. And we hit our progressive don't pass. I say we go for it. Okay, this is where it gets crazy. This is where it gets crazy. Bam, we're up 190. Like I said, this strategy is absolutely out of control. You just have to be ready and willing to take that $2,000 loss, that $1,000 loss. Because that's like your worst case scenario. You're going to lose that $1,000 progression, $2,000 progression. But that's why you kind of just want to be going in kamikaze. I feel like the crazier you are, the more willing you are to lose that $2,000, the more successful you are generally going to be. That was perfect. That was good. All right. I say we progress. Oh, I didn't mean, I meant to take it down to 18. All right. I say we progress. I think we can make it. You want to progress when you think you can make it. We made it. We made it. I think we can make it. We made it. Let's just try to hit some 6s and 8s. All right. I say we just go a little bit crazy because we have unlimited bankroll. It's play money. It's not like we're taking very much of a risk. Okay. I say we progress. I say we progress. We already hit a 6 and 8. Oh, we got the perfect number. Come on. Fuck it. I say we just try to hit some 6s and 8s. There we go. You just got to get a little bit crazy. Come on, a 6 or 8. How hard is it to roll a 6 or 8? About time. I definitely think it's time to progress here. Because if we get onto a number, we haven't rolled a fucking 7 in decades. I bet you there's going to be all sorts of 7s coming up. Like, as soon as you don't see the 7 rolling for a long time, you know it's going to start rolling. We just got to make it onto a number. We're at the point we just need to make it onto a number with our don't pass. Because it just rolled so many times not rolling a 7. So we're just trying to get onto numbers at this point. All right, we're up $508. We're going to cash out. We're going to say deal. We'll come play around another day. I'll take 500 bucks, and hopefully you kept the dealers in the game. The dealers probably made a few $100. And that is the strategy. Good luck. And remember, be prepared. You want to buy in for $2,000 to $2,500, and you might lose that entire $2,000 like on your first try. So be prepared. You might lose $2,000 in 5 minutes.